それはすべて私のせいです。道場への攻撃、龍の誘拐。両親はある日が来ることを知っていた。私が選ばなければならない日が、内なる力を受け入れることを。神の
Hello and welcome to this YouTube live stream regarding the Kickstarter campaign for Tiger Dragon, the Rebirth. I'm your host, Palmy Baden, and today in this live stream, we're going to be discussing more about Tiger Dragon, the Rebirth behind the scenes. We're also going to be diving into some of the rewards, and we're going to be answering your questions, and we're also going to be revealing the milestone bonus rewards. So looking forward to do all of that. Very excited to do all of that. However, the first thing I do want to do is thank you, the backers. So I want to thank you, the backers, for backing the campaign. We have 4 backers at the moment. Fantastic. So hoping to get some more backers after this live stream as we go more into it. But I want to definitely thank you, your gratitude. Very much grateful for you backing the campaign, showing that you believe in superhero stories. You believe in heroic superhero stories and the power and a heroic superhero story can have in terms of helping you to achieve your goals, right? You're having that positive influence of that particular character, that superhero that you like, that's going to affect your life in a positive way. And that's what these stories are all about. So again, thank you, backers, for that. Now, let's move on to the first part of the live stream, which is going to be, we're going to be discussing more about Tiger Dragon, the Rebirth behind the scenes. So what did it take to create Tiger Dragon, the Rebirth? Because obviously it's not easy creating a book by yourself, right? You've got to do a lot of things. And so I want to show you like where my journey started, how it started, and how Tiger Dragon became to how Tiger Dragon Rebirth came into existence. So I'm going to just share my screen in a second once I figure out how to do this on StreamYard. So let's go and share the screen. Which screen do I want to share? That's the one I want to share. Let me go back here. There we go. Okay, cool. So this is on my website, the Mastergrid Comics, which is our publishing imprint. So as we scroll down here, you get to learn more about superhero stories, what we're trying to create here. So I'll keep going down, 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 down. So this is very important. So these are the first 5 stories I created before I ever knew anything about comics, right? How to create a comic, what it means to create a comic, how to tell stories in comics. I have no idea at this time when I'm creating these comics here that you're looking at right now. So I have no idea at this time, and I'm just trying to create stories, right? So this is no knowledge of how to create a comic. So basically I'm just trying to show you, like, everyone starts from zero. I started from zero, right? I knew nothing about making comics. However, I was interested in making stories, okay? So superhero stories specifically. So all that matters is progress. Progress is all that matters to achieve your goals. Even that little bit of progress, okay? So the first story I created all the way back in March 2019. Wow, that's a long time ago. March 2019, I created this story called Assassins here. So this is the story that I created first, and it's really bad. You can download all these, right? All these stories here that I've created, all 5 of them. Some of them are not as long, but they are really bad. You can read them and see how bad they are. I read them, right? It keeps me humble. I look back at these and I see like, wow, this is where I started. Okay, I can see the progress, right, where I am now. So it's really, really important to do that, to show like where you used to be and then where you are now. You get to see that progress. And so I created the story here, Assassins. It wasn't very good. And while I was creating this story, Assassins, I was creating specific characters for this story because I was thinking to myself, I want to create this kind of like spy thriller type of like story, and I want to create several characters for it. And one of those characters was the first iteration of Ayame. So let me show you that right now as well. So let me stop sharing this. Let me go and share Ayame. Give me a second to find it. So go and share that. And I want to share this one here. And let me go back and show that. There we go. Okay, cool. So this is the first iteration of Ayame, all the way back in March 2019. So this coincides with that Assassin's story that I created. So this is the first version of Ayame. This is what she looked like, right? This is like the first iteration. So I was like, yeah, this is kind of cool. We'll have a character like this that's from like Japan. And she could be like this assassin. And obviously, when you think of Japan, what do you think when you think of assassins? You think of ninjas. I know it sounds very stereotypical, but yeah, that's my thinking at the time, and probably your thinking as well. So that's what I'm thinking at the time there. And then as I was progressing with this character, because I still had this character in mind, because I was supposed to continue making that story Assassins, but I didn't because it was so bad. And in April 2019, this is the kind of like design I came up with then as well. So we had the design here, like ninja design almost, right? So you can see like kind of like ninja clothing. She's got a sword, like a samurai sword. And then she's got the like a kabuki mask to cover her face, to cover her identity, so to speak, the face painting and everything. So that's what we ended up with there. This is April 2019. And then we move on to July 2019, and we ended up with like almost like the, next iteration of the character. So you can see like through the months, I was still thinking about this character. It caught my eye because I was interested in Japanese mythology, just interested in Japan altogether. I'm just interested in Japan as a culture. And as we're going through, you can see the iterations from the character. So going from she looks like this to looking like this to ending up like this here as well as the character. So that was like still thinking about the character. And then obviously as I'm thinking about the character, I'm thinking about the story, thinking about how the world that she lives in, what is her life like, what is her personality like, what's happened in her life for her to turn out like this, right? Why is she like this? Because she didn't turn out like this automatically. Something must have happened in her life for her to turn out like this. So that's where kind of like the beginnings of Ayame was happening in terms of those times. So you can see the time frame: March, April, May, June, July, right? So this is not like this is something I've been thinking about for a while. Like you get an idea and it's stuck in your head and you're like, this is a story here. I know there is. I know I can make a story out of this. This character is really, really really exciting. There's something about this character, and I want to take this character forward. And this is why from all the other stories that I've created, the ones that I created, which I'm going to show you now as well. So let's go back to those stories. So stop sharing this. Let's go back to the Master Grid Comics page again. There we go. Let's get rid of that as well so you can see more. So this is like these characters here that you see here are not even in. I didn't like do much with these characters here. So that character that I created, which was like not even used, that was the one that was like Ayame, which is the one that I was like, yes, that's the one I want to create a story around, not these two here. So as we scroll down here, my second one that I created the story was released in May 2019, which is The Search for Superman. And this is basically focusing on Kara. So Kara Zor-El, Supergirl, was based on that. And then we just had a few other stories here. A short story here, August 19, that I released here. And we got one here, like a Halloween one where I did Cassie's Nightmare. This was released October 2019, which October is when we have Halloween. And then finally, the last one that I created was this one here, released December 2019, Rangers of Justice here. So with each of these stories, there is progress. You can see progress. It does get better, but they're still not great, right? They're still not where it needs to be in order to be like a professional published, so to speak, a professional published story. That's what was my intention, right? I want to be professionally published. I want to show that I can do things professionally, and that's what I wanted to do with this story. So one thing you may have noticed is a lot of these stories, probably all of them, have female characters. Why do they have female characters in these stories? Well, because the software that I use, Dash Studio, when I started off using Dash Studio, I was focused on creating portraits, right? Female portraits, okay? Why? Because it gets you the likes, right? Let's be honest here. It gets you the likes. It gets you the social media external validation. It gets you the followers, right? I see a lot of people do this. I used to do this. I don't do it anymore now because I know myself. I know the stories I want to create, the things I want to do. So the external validation doesn't mean anything to me in terms of that. I mean, the likes are nice, but it's not going to, it's fleeting, right? It's very fleeting, right? Those things are fleeting. You want internal validation, your own internal validation, like, hey, I was able to do A, B, and C because I learned how to do A, B, and C. That's more fulfilling to me than getting a like or a external validation from somebody I don't even know, right, on the social media. I don't even know who they are. They just hit a like button and I don't know who they are. So anyway, that's a different YouTube video altogether, different live stream altogether. So, okay. So now I've realized after creating these stories, I suck. I am absolutely awful at this, right? I've got to get better. So what do I need to do? I've got to go learn from somebody who's already walked the path that I want to walk to get better. So I need to go learn from somebody who knows what they're doing. So I'm going to share with you like the first 5 books that I bought before I even show you anything else. So let me stop sharing that. So let me show you the first 5 books I've got in here at the bottom. See, I come prepared, you see, I've come prepared. So the first book that I bought, this is around about December 2019, January 2020 kind of time. So, which is this one here, which is Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud. Okay, so the reason why I got this book is because I don't understand comics at the time. December 2019, I don't understand comics. Obviously, I don't understand comics because all those five comics that I created were rubbish, no good, right? So I need to understand. I need to understand first. Once you understand something, the foundations, then you can build upon that foundation. That's why understanding comics comes first. And then from the same author, Scott McCloud again, making comics. Right now, once we understand something, we can go and make it. Right? We can use the knowledge we've just learned and then go and make it. Let's go make these things to see if we understand the knowledge that we have gained. So that's that one there. And then I went and got these other books as well. Will Eisner here, Comics and Sequential Art. Highly recommend this. Will Eisner is a legend, by the way. If you ever heard of like Eisner Awards for comics, it's him, right? It's his name. It's his name. That's what it's all about there. It's his name there, Eisner Awards. So obviously Will Eisner is no longer alive with us, no longer with us, but he left his knowledge with us right here in this book here, right? He left his knowledge here for you, for me, for anybody to access and say, hey, do you want to create comic books? Well, here's someone that can help you do it. That's the way I see books. So a lot of cool information there. Now, obviously, I don't want to create comics. I want to create graphic novels. So I've got to go and get Will Eisner's graphic storytelling and visual narrative, right? So in this one, he covers obviously graphic novel storytelling, right? So the longer books and everything. So that's that one. And the third and final book from Will Eisner is this one here, Expressive Anatomy for Comics and Narrative. Why? Because when you're creating comics with Dash Studio, a lot of the expressions and a lot of the poses are very stiff. And so in order for me to understand how to create more expressive characters, I've got to learn expression, right, in terms of the body posture, the expression on the face. It tells you a lot more about that character, right? The way a character is hunched over like this tells you a lot more about that character, what they're feeling, more than any kind of word balloon could, right? That's why it's a part. So this is very, very important. All this stuff helped me to create Tiger Dragon the Rebirth, right? Which is why it's an amazing story. So these are the books. So these are the books, and then I'm going to put them back down here. And now I'm going to show you the Tiger Dragon the Rebirth folder, right? You're going to show this folder where all the work is. So this is a Tiger Dragon Rebirth. I don't know if you could see that. Tiger Dragon the Rebirth, everything that made it a reality, right? Everything is in this folder, right? So in this folder here is all the drafts, right? So first draft, second draft, third draft, all the ideas, all the panels and everything. I don't know if you can see that properly. Everything here that made this book here possible, right? So all this work, doing these folders, reading those books here, made this book a reality. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened. So that's what I do for all of my stories. I'll go through and I'll do several revisions before I even get anywhere. I will do several revisions of my scripts. I will go through, even when I'm creating the stories that I'm creating now. So the story that I'm working on right now is a shorter story. I think it's about 36 pages long, might be 40. It's called Tiger Dragon Consequences, which continues on from Tiger Dragon the Rebirth. And even that story, as I'm creating it, I'm going through, looking at the dialogue, looking at the panel layouts, and thinking like, there's a better way to do this, a more exciting way to do it. There's always a better way to do something. When you look around it with fresh eyes, you're like, yes, there's always a better way. And I'll change panels, right? I'm not afraid to change panels. I'm not afraid to change anything in order to make that story better. So the same thing is with book 2. Book 2, I'm working on book 2 as well. So book 2 of Tiger Dragon the Rebirth, which chapter 1 is already done of book 2 actually. So I shouldn't have actually told you that, but the sneak preview there with chapter 1 for book 2 already done. Okay, so that's Tiger Dragon the Rebirth, right? That's all the kind of like work that went into doing that. Not something that was just thought of like, this is as a whim, right? There was actually some thought put into creating the story and making sure the story is done to a high standard. So that's what I wanted to do there. So let's move on to milestone bonuses, because that's what you're here for. You want to know the milestone bonuses. So let me go and grab the milestone bonuses now and explain how they work, right? So how do the milestone bonuses work? So let me go and find them. I thought I had them pre-prepared. I did not have it pre-prepared, so I forgot about it actually. So while you're waiting for me to get that, while I can find it, milestone bonuses. That's the image that I want. Yeah, okay. So let's go back and share that now. Share the screen. I want to share that there, don't I? And there we go. Okay, so the milestone bonus is there. So the way this works, the milestone bonuses is when we achieve the funding, right? So when we achieve 30% funding, that milestone bonus will be unlocked straight away. It'll be unlocked, which means it'll be accessible for all backers, right? So anybody who's backed the campaign will have access to that milestone bonus. Same with 60% and the same with 90%. And what are these milestone bonuses? These are superhero stories from amazing indie comic book creators. All these indie comic book creators are already on the Kickstarter platform. So they've been kind enough to share their stories with me. And they're going to be available at each of these intervals, 30%, 60%, and 90%. So obviously our first goal is 30% here. I want to get that first one unlocked. So that's our target, really. That's what we're going for at the moment. Really excited. Now, each of these stories are not just any superhero story. They are going to entertain you, empower you, inspire you. These are the stories that fit in with what we are trying to create, right? So I didn't just pick up any random stories and be like, yeah, that superhero story, that'll do. No. I've been more intentional in my approach. So I'm saying, right, this story here is what we're trying to create. This story here is what we're trying to create. And this story here is what we're trying to create. And these are the ones I'm going to do as my milestone bonuses, right? So 2 of these superhero stories I've already backed as a previous Kickstarter campaign. So I have already backed them. The other one I haven't, because I wasn't on Kickstarter at the time. So I was unable to back that one, obviously, when that campaign was out. But the other 2 I have. So I've read all 3 of them, obviously, but 2 of them I've definitely backed to support the campaign, the creator. And what will happen is when those milestone bonuses are unlocked, they'll be available in the Kickstarter updates. You can go click on the link and then you can go and download it for all backers, right? So anyone who's backed the campaign can go to the Kickstarter update and then obviously click on the link. You can download the PDF and you can go ahead and read it way before the campaign is complete, right? So you've got something there as a bonus for you for backing the campaign. So that's how the milestone bonuses work. Very straightforward, very succinct, and definitely I like the stories, right? I like all 3 of the stories. I picked them because I was like, yes, these are amazing stories from independent comic book creators, superhero stories that you won't get from the big publishers, right? These are proper super stories that are inspiring, right? You read them and you feel good about yourself after reading them. You're like, yeah, this is a good story and it's entertaining and I like it. And that's what I want, right? That's what I want for you. So that's the milestone bonuses. So let's stop sharing that. The next thing we're going to do is look at the campaign rewards. So let's have a look at some of the campaign rewards. So again, I need to share my screen. My gosh, how much screen sharing am I doing here? I don't even know. Let me see if I can find it. So this is actually fun doing live stream. It keeps you on your toes. And definitely you need to prepare. So that's the one I want to share, isn't it? Here. Okay, so let me share that now. There we go. Okay, so currently we got 4 backers. I think the 4th backer came in today sometime. So we had 3 backers on day 1. Obviously, our target is to get to 30% of our pledge at the moment. So let's make that happen, right? That's what we want to do. Get that reward unlocked for you for the milestone bonuses. And then every backer who has backed the campaign gets that reward, right? You are working together to get something as part of the campaign that's available to you right now. So let's go and look at the rewards. The rewards, what I want to do is look at the reward tiers here. All right, so here are the reward tiers. So these are the rewards that we have available. So we have the digital bundle here. So if you like your comics digital, right, this is the bare bones kind of like digital where you get your PDF delivered to your inbox and you get your name on the thank you page in the PDF version of Tiger Dragon Rebirth 2nd edition. Then we've got the deluxe edition, digital deluxe edition, which basically has some wallpapers in there of the retail bundle wallpaper. You have the 1st edition as well, so you got that as well. The 1st edition of Tiger Dragon Rebirth was only 171 pages. I say only like it was just like, you know, it's like a normal thing, only 171 pages. Tiger Dragon Rebirth 2nd edition is actually 176 pages, so you get an extra 5 pages there for that one. And you also get the voiceovers, right? So the video that I played at the start of this YouTube live stream where you have the voiceover of the intro to the Kickstarter campaign, I went to Fiverr and I asked 3 freelancers to do voiceovers for me before I found the actual voice for Ayame. So you get those as well. So you get the videos with the voiceovers on there and you get to hear the different voice of Ayame as well. So I thought I'd bundle that in there. That would be like a cool bonus for you to kind of have a look at. And then we have the retail cover bundle here, which is basically the retail cover with the bookmark here. And you get all the digital stuff before. So you get all the digital pledges previously bundled into that. Free shipping in the UK for everything, right? So if you're a UK pledger, you don't pay any shipping. You just pay whatever the price is here, and that is yours. You got the little tiger bundle here. So this is basically you get the gold foil comic card. Now the gold foil comic card is a campaign exclusive, which basically means it's only available for this campaign. After this campaign is done, you won't get it again. It will not be available in future campaigns. Once it's gone, it's gone. So that's what I mean by campaign exclusive. You got variant cover B bundle here. Like I said, there's no variant cover A. I didn't have the variant cover A in this campaign. So variant cover B, which is the one that the email list, my email list voted for. They were like, hey, this one, we like this one. We want this as your variant cover for the Kickstarter campaign. Cool. I'll put it in there. And that's what we've got here. And then my personal favorite, well, one of my personal favorites, the manga variant cover bundle. So why did I create the manga variant cover bundle? Well, it makes sense, right? I've got my story set in Japan. My story set in Japan. I love Japanese mythology. Where is everyone going right now? That's trending. Manga, right? Manga is trending right now. Why? Because it's kicking the rubbish out of any Western comic. So I thought, hey, let's go all in on that, right? So that's what I did. I went all in on that. So obviously I can't draw manga. I ain't got the artistic skills. I could learn, but I just went to Fiverr, looked for the best ones, the best freelancers and say, hey, can you create me manga artwork cover. And hey, while we're at it, let me go find someone who could do Japanese calligraphy, shodo, and let's make it authentic, right? Let's go all in on the Japanese culture and let's do it. So let's say if you went to Japan and you have a manga cover, it's going to have the manga like shodo calligraphy, the way they do the writing, right? That's what they're going to be doing. So let's go all in on that. So that's why we went with that. And with this manga variant cover, you also get a sticker here. And then you also get the character card, but in manga kind of like form, in manga form, basically. So that's kind of cool as well. And then we've got the Tiger Dragon, the Rebirth, big tiger bundle. So with this one, you get the retail cover, and you get the gold foil bookmark. You get all this, but this one you get the character cards as well, the 9 character cards here as well. So you get all that as well, bundled in there. Again, any of the pledges, right, physical pledges, you will all get the digital automatically included in. So the digital is always part of these physical pledges. So you don't have to worry about that. So it's not, you're not just getting this, you're getting the digital pledges as well that came before. And this is the one that I really wanted to focus on, is the creators bundle here. So with this one, you're getting everything from before, right? You're getting everything in the Tiger Dragon bundle, but you're also getting the creators commentary. So what is the creators commentary? The creators commentary is basically the, like when you remember the old DVDs you used to have, and then you used to watch the DVD, and then there was always a soundtrack or a sub-track you can choose, an audio track rather, you can choose for the director's commentary. That is exactly what the creators commentary is. I'm basically going through and showing you how I created Tiger Dragon Rebirth. I'm going through the panel pages, why I chose this panel, why these characters are included in the story, why I did this, how this worked out, how I'm improving as I'm going through the story, the kind of like what's helped me to create a story. It's really a deep dive into it. And so I want to share some of that with you right now. So I want to share it with you. So let me stop sharing this now. Let me go back here, and I want to share with you a video regarding the creators commentary. So the short videos. So the first video I want to share with you happens in chapter 1 of the story, which is a character called the Guide. Okay, the Guide. So basically, it's me explaining to you why I created this character called Gran. Why is Gran in Tiger Dragon Rebirth, right? Why did I create this old lady, so to speak? Why is she in there, right? I didn't just like put her in there because, hey, let's make fun of old people. No, I put her in there for a reason, and this video is going to explain that very shortly. And let me just play it now, and then we'll come back and discuss that. And the reason why Gran was created is because in every story, in every superhero story, or in every story, there's always a character known as the Guide. Now, I learned this from The Hero's Journey, from Joseph Campbell, from The Hero with 1,000 Faces. Great book, by the way. Highly recommend you read that. It's a very dense book, but definitely you can learn a lot in terms of The Hero's Journey. And every hero basically has a guide that helps them on their journey. So if you have a look at some of the best stories ever created, like Star Wars, Luke Skywalker has Yoda and Ben Kenobi as his guides. Batman, Bruce Wayne, has Alfred and Commissioner Gordon as his guides, right? They are there to help him. And then obviously you've got my favorite, Spider-Man, Peter Parker. His guides are Uncle Ben and Aunt May. And there are many, many others who help him as well along the way. So that was a very brief part of that creator's commentary where I explain what the purpose of the guide is. So you'll see this in any storytelling. If you're watching a story right now on Netflix or whatever, there must be somebody there who is the guide, right? The character who is helping the protagonist to go and achieve their goals. That's their job, right? That's why I created Gran. Now, obviously, she's not the only guide in the story, but she's just the beginning guide, right? She's got experience. She's lived through this. She's seen all this before. So she's going to be the one that's going to help our protagonist to achieve her goal. So that's the reason for creating creating Gran, right? The next one I'll show you another. This is in chapter 5. This happens, right? So, and another video I want to show you regarding the creators commentary is Nico, right? I created this character called Nico. Now, yes, it's another female character, but why did I create this character again? There's a thought to it. There's a process. I'm not just putting in characters willy-nilly, right? I'm not just saying like, hey, we'll just put a character here. It doesn't matter what they look like. Hey, we'll just put a character here. No. There's a lot of thought going into the story. There's a lot of like, I'm being very deliberate in my actions and my intentions with the story. So let's play this video and show you why I created Nico, right? Let's show you why I created Nico. So let me go play that video now. So the reason for creating Nico is because every protagonist has a best friend. Think about your favorite superhero. They have a best friend. You have a best friend. Everybody's got a best friend, right? The person they talk to, the person they hang around with, everybody's got a best friend. So that's the reason why I created Nico. I was like, okay, I've created Ayame, but as I was doing more research regarding superhero, I was like, hold on a minute, there's a pattern here. Every superhero has a best friend. So let me give you a few examples. Let's take, for example, Matt Murdock, i.e. Daredevil, right? Who is also Daredevil. His best friend is Foggy Nelson, right? What would Matt Murdock be without Foggy Nelson? Daredevil wouldn't exist, right? You need that best friend there. Another example is you've got Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man. His best friend is Harry Osborn in the comics, in the original comics, and best friend in the actual first Spider-Man movies with Sam Raimi. Those Spider-Man movies, his best friend is Harry Osborn. And then finally, another example, we've got Superman here. Those of you that like DC, don't worry, I'm not going to leave you guys out hanging dry. If you like DC, yes, Superman's best friend, Clark Kent's best friend is Jimmy Olsen, right? Early on when he started off in the comics, Superman's best friend, or Clark Kent's best friend, was Jimmy Olsen. So that's his best friend. So those are the kind of like 3 examples that I'm giving you. But yes, definitely consider the best friend. That character also, the best friend character needs to be a contrast, right? So it can't be exactly the same as your protagonist. There are some overlaps. Yes, there will be. However, there will be major differences between your best friend and the protagonist. It has to be. Otherwise, it's just the same character you're repeating again and again. So that's the explanation for Nico, creating the best friend character. So this is something you learn as you're learning storytelling. You're seeing patterns, right? So as I am learning more about storytelling, I'm seeing these patterns everywhere in all stories. So you just see like the best friend character. So even now we've got examples. You can look at like, okay, Captain America, who's Captain America's best friend? It is Bucky Barnes, right? It is Bucky Barnes. There's a lot of other like things you can look at that and you can use that in your story. So that's me going into the creator's commentary where I'm really deep diving and giving you like the behind the scenes reveal. Literally like going like, here, this is how I created it. This is what helped me to create it. And if you want to create your story, you can learn from me and then you can go and create your story because I've given you the learnings that I've learned, right? So that's the creator's commentary. So let's go back to our rewards. This is one final reward that I want to go over. Oh, the 2 final rewards. There might be 2 left. Okay, so that was the creator's bundle there. The Get 'em All bundle. So basically, the Get 'em All bundle is literally you get everything, right? So you get all the physical copies, you get all 3 books, you get everything basically in terms of that. So that's what that is there, the Get 'em All bundle. And then you've got the creator's commentary obviously comes part of that. And then the last one here is the cameo bundle here, which is basically your likeness in book 2. So what does that mean? It means that you be a protester in book 2 and you create a ruckus, right, at that protest. That is your role in this story. So when I was writing the story for book 2, or as I'm writing it, I'm like, okay, I want to have a protest. We're going to have this protest, right? And it's all part of the story. And the person who is going to be the cameo, they're going to create a ruckus at this protest. So they're going to create the whole protest goes belly up, right? So that's what I wanted to do there. So basically it's your likeness. And what that means is you will, if you decide to go for this reward, you will need to provide 2 photos. First one will be your profile, first like this, and then the side profiles, any side, right? And that will give me enough information for me to create like a 3D version of your face and then put it into a character. And then we can create a story around that character and have you in the protest. So your likeness, it's not going to be a one-on-one exact copy. It's going to be your likeness. And then with that, you also get the Cameo creators card. You get your own creators card, right? So like these cards here, you'll get your own with your backstory and everything in there. I'm going to do it all for you. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So if you're interested in that, that's one for you as well. Right, so those are the rewards we've been through. Awesome, absolutely amazing. What are we doing now? What we're going to be doing now is just looking at my notes here. I'll actually show you my notes because you know, it's live. Hey, you want to be full transparency. This is my notes here that I wrote last night and this morning when I was practicing the live stream. Practice equals progress, right? If you don't practice, then you're not gonna how to do things. You're not gonna know how to do things. So we're now moving on to the Q&A segment. That's what we're moving on to, the Q&A segment. Okay, so I have a few questions that I need to answer. So let's go and answer those questions, okay? So the first question I've got is, have you delivered internationally before, right? So obviously delivering a UK or your local is easy because you know how to do that. Delivering internationally is different. And the answer to that question is yes, I have delivered internationally, which means I have got experience doing that. So what do I mean by this? Let me show you this again. So I am going to go and I know I'm sharing my screen a lot here. There's got to be a better way to do this, surely. There's got to be a better way to do this. I guess this is why these professional live streamers have somebody else doing the screen sharing for us, so you to just able to do it. There we go. So where are we? The reader reviews. Okay. So the reader reviews here. So these 4 reader reviews, I got them. These 4 reader reviews rather are from my email list. Okay. So what I did on my email list, I said to them like, hey, I want you to be a part of this campaign. So I want you to, I've got some, these front pages for the variant covers. Which ones do you like? Okay. So we had 2 different votings. Okay. So the first voting was for variant cover A, and then I picked 2 winners from there. Okay. And then variant cover B, we had another vote for that, and we had 2 different winners for that one as well. So what I did was I said to them, like, if you vote, and I'll put you through into a basically, if you vote, you will get picked, right? We'll do like a random pick. Whoever the first 2 names that are called out, you will get a copy of that variant cover delivered to you. Okay. And so that was all on me. That was my responsibility to do that. And I wanted to do that. Why? Because I wanted to know how to learn how to do international shipping. Never done it before, especially sending a book like this, sending the packaging and everything, understanding that. Very, very important. So once we got the winners, I sent them off, right? So I packaged it all up and I sent them off. I learned how to do the custom forms, which was really annoying. Filling in the custom forms manually, really annoying. But by doing that process of doing that, now I know what it takes to deliver something internationally, and the system I need to put into place to make that a bit more streamlined, right? A bit more easier for me to do it. So basically we had 4, right? So we had 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 of those 4 were shipped to America, and then 1 was shipped to Australia. So you can imagine the logistics there in terms of shipping those books 3 to America, 1 to Australia. Now, the books were shipped using the same shipping that we're using in this campaign, which is Royal Mail International Tracked, which means you get a tracking number. So everything that gets sent from here, physical reward, will be tracked, right? You can track it. There'll be a tracking number, and it will be delivered within 7 working days, right? I'm not waiting around 21 days, 30 days for you to get your reward. As soon as this campaign is over and we get the printing done from our printers, I want you to get your rewards as quick as possible, right? I don't want to be waiting around. I don't want you to be waiting around forever for your rewards. That's not very good customer service. It's not very good in terms of professionalism. You've got to get the rewards get the rewards to your customers at the right, within a reasonable time. Okay. So that's what I did. So I did the same shipping we're using is the same shipping we're using in the same shipping I used to send these 4 books off to my readers. Is the same shipping I'm using in this campaign, right? Because it worked and I'm happy with it, and they got it within 7 working days. So I'm happy with that. So Speaking of shipping, actually, let me show you how we actually do ship it. So again, I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to show you a short video on how we do the shipping. So again, another video. So one thing before I play this video here is I do say the word packaging a lot. I do say the word, I don't know why I say the word packaging a lot in this video, but I do. So I tell you what, if you know how many times I say the word packaging, put it in the comments, right? Because even I don't know. Let me play that video right now. How we pack your books, so they come in mint condition to you. So this is how we pack your books. This is the packaging we use. So this is very thick packaging here. This packaging can fit all 3 books. So if you go for the get them all reward package, everything will fit into this one package here. Very thick, very sturdy packaging, and I'm really happy to use this packaging because it keeps our books in mint condition. Now for your smaller objects such as the cards, the character cards and everything else, they're going to go in this little jiffy bag here, which is going to be there. I was putting it in right now. So they go in the jiffy bag there, and then you have the bookmark will go in there as well. So all those lovely little items are kept in nice packaging there for that as well. And then for the book, we have an example here of one of the variant covers, variant cover A. It goes with this lovely sleeve packaging here. So that's what happens with that there. That's how we package your books. And then this, the packaging we did earlier, that also goes inside that packaging as well. And then we put that seal across there. Finally, we put everything together. So I put some extra tape in to make sure everything's nice and sealed in there, nice and snug. So it's not going anywhere. It doesn't matter how much it gets thrown around by any postal service. And then we just put everything together like that. And that is how you're going to get your book. So your book is going to come in that packaging there, all nice and neat in mint condition. So yes, how many times I say the word packaging, put that in the comments below. But that's what I learned, right? So because I backed Kickstarter campaigns before I did my research, right? So I was like, I'm going to back these Kickstarter campaigns. I'm going to learn how they send their books, right? How do they send their books? What packaging do they use? Again, I use that word. But what delivery do they use? How do they send it, right? So I could send my books in the similar type of packaging, right? So there you go. But that's what I did, right? So I did the research before I did that in terms of that. That's how I learned how to do it. I was like, let me invest in someone else's like book. Let me help them out, right? As a creator, hey, I like your story, but I also want to learn how you package your delivered your items, so I can learn from that and I can use that to send off my books in mint condition. So that was another thing. My thinking was like Amazon, right? I order a lot of books from Amazon. They don't send the books like I send them, right? So basically there's no sleeve in there or anything. They're just usually like the book as it is shoved in a box and you get that box, right? It's not even like in some sort of cellophane or anything. It's just the book is shoved in a box. You can relate to this. How many times have you had Amazon packages from books and they're just like they're just shoved in the box and they're not even in any cellophane or anything like that, not sealed or anything like that, right? That's me thinking like, okay, I can do better than Amazon, right? And that's what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to try and be better, right? I'm going to look at what other people are doing and see where I can make that improvement to my customers, right? And do that little bit extra, which is going to make a big difference. That little bit extra is going to make a big difference. So yes, I have delivered internationally. There's your proof there. So happy to deliver internationally. So any of you international backers, you got nothing to worry about. I've got your back, right? I've done the research. I've done my due diligence. So that's all cool. So, okay, question number 2. Let's move on to that. We spent a lot of time on question 1. What is the waiting time until I receive my rewards? Okay, so the waiting time until you receive your awards is basically, this is the timeline, right? So once the campaign gets funded, I go and send off the printing to my printers, right? Because all the work, all the story, everything is done. The book is done, right? This is the book. The book is done. I don't need to finish the story. The story is finished. All I need to do is go to my printer and say, hey, printer, I need 100 books of variant cover B, and I need 150 books of the manga variant, and I need like 50 copies of this, right? Whatever. And they're going to go and do that. That's it. That's all they need to do. And I need to wait maybe a week or 2, maybe 2 weeks for them to deliver it, because they're a UK printer company, so I'm going to get it quicker. And same with the other rewards. They're all UK based, right? So I'm going to get those prints quicker. And then as soon as they come through, you get them delivered to you, right? So my kind of thinking on that is to deliver it as soon as possible, right? I don't want you waiting around, like I said earlier. I don't want you, because I've backed Kickstarter campaigns and I've waited a very long time for Kickstarter campaigns, maybe months, and I'm like, and sometimes it's been delivered and I'm like, where did these books come from? I don't remember ordering this book. And it's been months, right, since I ordered this book. There's some campaigns that I've like backed and I still haven't received their books yet. So I don't want to be like them, right? I want to run my campaigns differently. I want to run them efficiently. I want to run them as best as I can. And I want my customers to get their rewards as soon as possible. Do my best to get them as soon as possible. So like I said, the shipping, once your item is shipped, you'll get a tracking number, and then you're looking within 7 working days for international to get it delivered. In the UK, you're probably going to get it within 48 hours. 48 hours, you'll get your physical copy shipped to you. So again, with a tracking number as well. So that's question 2 there. Question 3 here. When I pledge, do I get charged immediately? No. So the way it works with Kickstarter, if you're brand new to Kickstarter, you create an account, you choose the pledge you want. Once you choose that pledge, it will go and ask what card you want to use. So you choose your card. It doesn't take out money straight away, right? What it does, it's saying, okay, we're holding this charge, your pledge until the campaign is funded, right? So if the campaign is not funded, you don't get charged. You don't get charged. Nothing happens. There's no responsibility on you. The responsibility is on me as the campaign creator to go and get this campaign funded. So the responsibility is on me. The onus is on me, right? So even if you did a pledge and like we didn't get funded, hopefully we do get funded. But if you didn't get funded, you get your money back. You don't lose anything. There's literally no issues for you, right? The responsibility, like I said, onus is on me for me to get the campaign funded. So you don't get charged, no. So you can choose the pledge you want and off you go. Okay, and the final question, although let's have a look. Is there one question? There is another one here somewhere. Yes, there is. There we go. Question 4. Why did you start with a female character? Okay, so good question. Why did I start with a female character, right? Because most people, like, I want good male characters, right? I want strong male characters that you can look up to, you can aspire to be like. That's fine. So why did I create a female character? Well, 2 reasons why I created a female character. Number 1, like I said before, in my Dash Studio library, I had a lot of female characters. Because of the portraits, I was creating the female portraits, getting the likes on Instagram, the social media validation, all that stuff that I don't really care about anymore, because I know myself better, right? I've been doing the work since 2019. And again, another different YouTube live stream that is for anyway. But yes, that's the reason, because I had too many female characters. I thought, let me just do a female character story. And number 2, as I was creating the story, I was starting to see the female characters that were being created. They were by Marvel and DC, by the current crop of writers that are out there, or any like crop of writers that are out there. They're not doing them any justice, right? They're not doing them. They're not creating characters as like heroic characters, right? Even a female character needs to be heroic in some way. They need to do that, right? And I was thinking like, okay, there's a gap here. There is a gap here. If somebody can create a female character that follows the hero's journey, very important. They follow the hero's journey, then you are able to, get through that gap and maybe get eyes on you, right? That's very, very important, right? So I'm looking around thinking like, okay, I see what they're doing with female characters. They're not very well represented, shall we say. And I feel I can do better, right? And that's not ego talking. That's like me thinking like, okay, there's a gap here, and I feel like I can do better because I'm going to follow the tried and tested hero's journey. Okay, the hero's journey is applicable to female characters as well as to male characters. Slightly different for the female than it is to the male, and vice versa. But it's still there, right? I don't know any like girl or any female wants to look up to a female superhero, right? They want to look up to that female superhero and be like, hey, I want to be like this female superhero. I want to adopt the qualities they have, their attributes, because I too, as a human being in this world, I want to go and achieve my goals. And in order for me to do that, I need someone to look up to and be like, okay, this is this character here. I can look up to them, and they're giving me positive information that is going to help me to go and achieve my goals. That's why I created Side with the female character. Now, obviously, as the story progresses, we're going to bring in those male characters. Don't you worry about that. I've got this whole crazy timeline of how we're going to create those characters and how the story is going to be. So this is not just a one-off story as well. This is like a huge, like massive story. We're talking like literally like a manga volume where you've got like probably not as much as One Piece. One Piece is like crazy big, but it's going to be big, right? It's big story. It's like there's a lot of threads for me to pull in the story and really go with these characters that I'm really excited about as well. So that's why I started with a female character there. So that's all the questions. Unless there's any other questions, I'll have a quick look. Can't see any. So these questions that I had were already pre-sent to me early before we did the live stream. So they were sent yesterday when I sent an email to everybody on my email list. So that's where I got those questions from. And I think there's nothing else really. So let's go back to the campaign. Let's go and share this screen again. Cool. Okay. So one of the things I do want to point out is you can check out the preview here. The first 10 pages of Tiger Dragon Rebirth. So you can read those to get a little bit of idea about the story. What I do want to do is show you the superhero money back guarantee. All right. So this is me taking 100% responsibility. I'm like, yo, the onus is on me. I'm going to 100% back a satisfaction guarantee. Right. So I believe in my product this much. I believe in my story this much that I'm going to give you what I call our superhero money back guarantee. What does that mean? It means like you do a pledge, right? The pledge that you want, the physical pledges, and then we need to deliver the rewards in a timely manner, right? So you get your rewards and you're like, hey, I'm not satisfied with this. Then we'll try and resolve it. If we can't resolve it, you send the reward back and I'll give you a complete refund, right? This is me like saying this story is that good, right? This story is that good that I bet my money back guarantee on it. That's the difference, right? I don't see many of the creators do this, right? I 100% believe in my story and I'm willing to do this. So if you look at other creators on Kickstarter, they won't have a money back guarantee and all that. I'm having it because I believe in my story that much. I believe in what I'm creating. I believe that this superhero stories are very important in society, lacking in society, right? Especially the superhero stories we're getting now. The recent like game they had as well, the Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, like that just tells you the state of affairs we are with superhero stories. Okay, so that you should be making a game about the Justice League, right? Not bloody Suicide Squad. Nobody cares about the Suicide Squad. I don't care about villains. I'm more interested in the hero, right? Because the hero is the person who goes and achieves their goals. The hero is the person who grows. The hero is the person that everybody else looks up towards, okay? That's what they do. Nobody looks up towards the villain. Everybody looks up towards the hero. The hero is the one that everybody goes like, I want to be like Captain America. I want to be like Spider-Man. Nobody goes like, I want to be Joker. I want to be Green Goblin. Are you kidding me? You want to be the bad guy? You nuts. Why do you want to be the bad guy for, right? You know, like even me with Demon Slayer, I want to be Tanjiro, guy with his flame breathing, man. That's awesome, right? Or I want to be like Zenitsu, you know, thunder like flash and everything, man. Come on, man. I don't want to be like one of those demons. You got to be joking. So, sorry, that's my rant there. So that's the money back guarantee. We have a project timeline here as well. Gives you a rough timeline here as well. And that's the campaign. So there you go. Okay, so let's see. I don't think we've made any dent in the campaign. Let's do a quick refresh. No, still 4 backers. That's fine. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that now. Let's go back here. Cool. Okay, so that is the live stream day. We've gone through the milestone bonuses. We've gone through how I created Tiger Dragon the Rebirth, what actually it took to create the story. I haven't even talked about my printing saga, the amount of like investment I spent on getting the printing done right for the book, how many copies I had before I got the exact printing the way I wanted it. So I'm going to talk about that again for another live stream. A lot of investment in that as well upfront, cost by me. Milestone, we talked about the rewards, and we had a few questions that I answered as well. So that's the live stream there. Another thing I want to say before we leave was to do with, now I forgot my train of thought. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, so I mean, that is a live stream. So there's literally 2 ways you can support this amazing campaign. First way is like go and back the story, go and grab yourself a heroic superhero story that's going to entertain you, empower, and inspire you. Doesn't matter if it's a female story, you're still going to love the story, right? You know why? Because it follows the hero's journey. Very, very important. And the second way you can do it is like share it, right? You know somebody, there must be somebody that you know that is aching for a great superhero story, and even aching for a great female superhero story. And you share that campaign with them, and you'll be doing them a great favor. So that's 2 ways you can help spread the word on the campaign. Number 1, like you like superhero stories, go back the campaign. And number 2, if you know anybody, share the campaign with them, right? Don't like you're doing them a favor by sharing the campaign. You're like, hey, I know somebody who loves superhero stories. I'm going to share the campaign with them. Here you go. And then it's up to them if they feel like doing it. Like show them the direction of where to look for alternative stories, right? Because obviously Marvel and DC are not doing superhero stories any justice whatsoever. You can see that, right? See that straight away. And there's a lot of other publishers that are not as big as Marvel and DC, but are still big. I'm not doing superhero stories any justice. And that's why you need to go and look at the independents. Why? Because we care. We care. That's why we're creating it. That's why we stepped up. We're like, okay, we don't know how to create stories yet, but we're going to learn. And we're going to create the stories like I did, right? There's a lot of independent creators who didn't know, started like me, started from zero. They're like, okay, I love stories, superhero stories. I don't like what these big companies are doing to our superheroes. So I'm going to create my own, and I'm going to learn how to do it. That's what these other creators were said to themselves as well. Other creators like Eric July, right? Young Ripper, he's creating his own Ripperverse. So he's obviously got more financial backing so he can get the better writers in and the artists in, and to do all that stuff. But that's very, very important. So that's 2 ways, like I said, you can support the campaign. So that's what I wanted to say. We are finished with this live campaign. Again, I want to thank you for joining me, taking your time. The most precious resource you have in your life is time. You can't get it back, right? Once the time is gone, you can't get it back. There is no time machine, unfortunately. I wish there was, but there is no time machine. So thank you for joining me on this live stream. And even if you are not watching it live and you watched the whole live stream, I still thank you anyway, because you took the time. I took time out of your day to watch this very long live stream, nearly an hour long. Oh my God, that's really long. That's too long. And so, yeah, thank you for that. And until the next live stream, always be learning, right? I always leave with my emails. If you're on my email list, I always leave with my tagline, always be learning, because it is the superhero philosophy, right? Superheroes are always learning, right? They never stop learning, because when you read a superhero story, they need to learn how to defeat that villain. They need to learn how to overcome obstacles in their life. And superheroes are the ones that we look up to. We look at them and we say like, okay, if they are always learning, then why am I not always learning? Because I can always get better and I can always improve, just like Spider-Man can, my favorite superhero, right? Or whoever your favorite superhero is, they get better, right? Batman gets better. Do you think Batman gives up after being beaten up by Bane when Bane broke his back in the comics? No, he sorted himself out, right? Batman sorted himself out, and when, got after Bane and whatever he needs to do. This is the philosophy, right? The always be learning philosophy. It's like, if you're always learning, then you are always growing and you're always getting better. And that's how you achieve your goals, okay? So really, really quickly, even though that's what I wanted to say before we finish the live stream, even really quickly, when the first day finished and we only had 3 backers, right? 3 backers for the campaign. I was hoping to get like at least 30% funding towards the campaign. We didn't achieve that in the first day, and I was feeling down, right? I was feeling like really, really bad, and I was like, this is I just feel bad, and I was like, this isn't good. I was like, okay, I was thinking to myself, right, this isn't good. What am I going to do, right? I don't want to, I'm going to use my always be learning philosophy. What does it say? It says like, okay, even though we didn't hit our target in the first day, you still got 28 days, right, to make a difference, to make the change. What are you going to do in that 28 days to at least try and hit your target, right? You're not going to give up, because superheroes don't give up. No superhero ever gives up, right? So you take that, because if you never give up, guess what? You never lose, right? If you never give up, you never lose. Yeah, you may fall down, but you get back up and you learn, and then you try again. You may fail again, get back up, learn, try again. So that's the superhero-like philosophy. It's like, I'm never going to give up, right? So what am I going to do? Okay, I'm going to continue my plan. My plan is I'm going to do this live stream, which I was going to do anyway, regardless of whether we hit our funding, regardless if we hit like crazy funding anyway. I still would have done this live stream, so I'm going to follow the plan, go ahead, and I'm going to do it anyway. And that's me living the always be learning philosophy, the superhero philosophy, as I like to call it, which is going to inevitably help me to achieve my goals. And I really want you guys to live that philosophy as well, which is why I love superheroes so much, right? Because a lot of people like look at superheroes and they think like they're just fictional characters. It doesn't matter if they're fictional, right? Who cares if they're fictional? Your mind makes it real. When I'm watching, even when I'm watching cartoon, right? What's the cartoon I'm watching right now? Rewatching rather is Avatar: The Last Airbender, because that awful remake on Netflix, Avatar Last Airbender live action is rubbish. I'd rather watch the cartoon, way better. So I was watching that cartoon and I was like, oh my God, this is so much better. I remember it and I was like, oh, it's so funny, and the action is great, and the air bending and the water bending and the fire bending so cool in the actual cartoon, way better. And I was like, yeah, this is why I like it, right? This is why characters, even if they're fictional, still important, because they're a story, and stories make a lot of make the difference in your life, right? The stories you consume really do create the perspective you see, the way you see the world, okay? So if you consume a lot of negative stuff, you're going to look at the world in a negative view all the time. That's not going to help you to achieve your goals. And if you consume too much positive, then you get a bit too much like sunshine and roses kind of thing. But you want to like a healthy balance, all right? So for me, I'm like 95% positive consumption, right? That's going to help me to achieve my goals, and maybe 5% a bit of negative, watching the news now and again, just to see what's happening in the world, etc. But this is why superhero stories are important. Like I said, doesn't matter if they're fictional, go and read the superhero stories, take them on board, learn from them, and then apply it into your life, and then you're more likely to achieve your goals, just like I am, right? So that's very important. So again, sorry, went on a rant there. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And until the next live stream, always be learning.